Hello, students. Welcome back to your English class. I am Mrs. Jenny Shah. We are doing chapter 5, A Different Kind of School from Honeysuckle. This is a last part of the chapter where we shall discuss the question and answers behind the textbook. Okay, let's begin with a little summary.
School by Evie Lucas. I had heard a great deal about Miss Beam's school, but not till last week did the chance come to visit it. When I arrived, there was no one in sight but a girl of about 12. Her eyes were covered with a bandage, and she was being led carefully between the flower beds by a little boy, who was about 4 years younger. She stopped, and it looked like she asked him who had come. He seemed to be describing me to her. Then they passed on. Miss Beam was all that I had expected. Middle-aged, full of authority, yet kindly and understanding. Her hair was beginning to turn grey, and she had the kind of plump figure that is likely to be comforting to a homesick child. I asked her some questions about her teaching methods, which I had heard were simple. No more than is needed to help them to learn how to do things. Simple spelling, adding, subtracting, multiplying and writing. The rest is done by reading to them and by interesting talks, during which they have to sit still and keep their hands quiet. There are practically no other lessons. The real aim of this school is not so much to teach thought as to teach thoughtfulness, kindness to others, and being responsible citizens. Look out of the window a minute, will you? I went to the window, which overlooked a large garden and a playground at the back. What do you see? Miss Beam asked. I see some very beautiful grounds, I said, and a lot of jolly children. It pains me, though, to see that they are not all so healthy and active looking. When I came in, I saw one poor little girl being led about. She has some trouble with her eyes. Now I can see 2 more with the same difficulty. And there's a girl with a crutch watching the others at play. She seems to be a hopeless cripple. Miss Beam laughed. "Oh no," she said. "She's not really lame. This is only her lame day. The others are not blind either. It is only their blind day." I must have looked very surprised, for she laughed again. This is a very important part of our system, to make our children appreciate and understand misfortune. We make them share in misfortune too. Each term, every child has one blind day, one lame day, one deaf day, one injured day, and one dumb day. During the blind day, their eyes are bandaged absolutely, and they are on their honor not to peep. The bandage is put on overnight, so they wake blind. This means that they need help with everything. Other children are given the duty of helping them and leading them about. They all learn so much this way, both the blind and the helpers. There is no misery about it, Miss Beam continued. Everyone is very kind, and it is really something of a game. Before the day is over, though, even the most thoughtless child realizes what misfortune is. The blind day is, of course, really the worst, but some of the children tell me that the dumb day is the most difficult. We cannot bandage the children's mouths, so they really have to exercise their willpower. Come into the garden and see for yourself how the children feel about it. Miss Beam led me to one of the bandaged girls. "Here's a gentleman come to talk to you," said Miss Beam, and left us. "Don't you ever peep?" I asked the girl. Oh no, she exclaimed. That would be cheating. But I had no idea it was so awful to be blind. You can't see a thing. You feel you are going to be hit by something every moment. It's such a relief just to sit down. Are your helpers kind to you? I asked. Fairly, but they are not as careful as I shall be when it is my turn. Those that have been blind already are the best helpers. It's perfectly ghastly not to see. I wish you'd try. Shall I lead you anywhere? I asked. Oh yes, she said. Let's go for a little walk. Only you must tell me about things. I shall be so glad when today is over. The other bad days can't be half as bad as this. Having a leg tied up and hopping about on a crutch is almost fun, I guess. Having an arm tied up is a bit more troublesome because you can't eat without help and things like that. I don't think I'll mind being deaf for a day, at least not much. But being blind is so frightening. My head aches all the time just from worrying that I'll get hurt. Where are we now? In the playground, I said. We're walking towards the house. Miss Beam is walking up and down the garden with a tall girl. What is the girl wearing? My little friend asked. A blue cotton skirt and a pink blouse. I think it's Millie, she said. What color is her hair? Very light, I said. Yes, that's Millie. She's the head girl. There's an old man tying up roses, I said. Yes, that's Peter. He's the gardener. He's hundreds of years old. And here comes a girl with curly red hair. She's on crutches. That's Anita, she said. And so we walked on. Gradually, I discovered that I was 10 times more thoughtful than I ever thought I could be. I also realized that if I had to describe people and things to someone else, it made them more interesting to me. When I finally had to leave, I told Miss Beam that I was very sorry to go. Ah, she replied, then there is something in my system after all.
That was a very wonderful, sorry, students. Yeah, students, that was a very, very wonderful summary. Yes, that was an excellent summary. We continue with the question and answer. The students, page 62. You have to put the sentences from the story in the right order and write the paragraph in your notebooks. So you're going to put this in the correct order and write them in your notebooks without looking at your text, without going back to the text. Okay. So you all know the drill: pause, solve, and then check. So first I want you to number them in your textbook and then check the answers with me. Pause, check, and move forward. Okay. The first one is, let's go for a little walk. Only you must tell me about things. I shall be so glad when today is over. The other bad days can't be half as bad as this. Having a leg tied up and hopping about on a crutch is almost fun, I guess. I don't think I'll mind being deaf for a day, at least not much. But being blind is so frightening. So I want you to write this entire paragraph in your notebooks also. Next one is question and answers. Why do you think the writer visited Miss Beam's school? It's in the first paragraph, the answer. The answer to this question is, the writer had heard a lot about Miss Beam's new teaching method, so he visited the school to see the new playway method personally.
We can say that the writer had.
So students, so the answer is, the writer had heard a lot about Miss Beam's new teaching method, and so he visited the school to see the playway method personally. Next question. What was the game that every child in the school had to play? The answer to this question is on paragraph number 9, which is page number 58. Every child in the school had to play the role of being dumb, deaf, blind, injured, and lame once every term. It was a sort of game and training, and this was done to make the children appreciate and understand misfortune. Okay. Next question. Each term, every child has one blind day, one lame day. You have to complete the sentence. Okay. And then you have to say which day was the hardest and why was it the hardest. The answers are in paragraph number 9, 11, and 15. Each term, every child has one blind day, one lame day, one deaf day, one injured day, and one dumb day. The dumb day was the hardest. This was because the children's mouth could not be bandaged, so they really had to exercise their willpower to remain silent. But the bandaged girl said that being blind was frightening. Her head ached all the time from worrying about banging into something and getting hurt. Okay. Next, what was the purpose of these special days? Answer is in paragraph number 5 and paragraph number 9. The purpose of these special days was to give the children a personal taste of misfortune. They learned to help the needy in the society, and these trainings made them good citizens. There's one more answer, students. You can write the one that you prefer. The purpose of these special days was to teach thoughtfulness, kindness to others, and being responsible citizens. To make the children appreciate and understand misfortune, they were made to share that misfortune too. Okay. So students, I want you to write down the answers. 1 minute, students. Write down the answers of question number 2 and question number 4 in your notebooks. I repeat, question number 2 and question number 4. We'll do the rest in our Zoom class. Okay. With this, students, we've come to the end of our class. Stay home and stay safe. Thank you.